We are back to break down all the ways The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 14 compared to Robert Kirkman's comics. From Beta's revenge mission, to our gang's road trip, to the sort of introduction to Princess, we cover it all. I'm Woody Tondorf. Somehow next week is the finale, and this is Panel to Screen. First, let's discuss the aftermath of Alpha's death. Why not? I'm already quarantined in my house, this mic isn't getting any better, I am literally in my closet. In the show, we discover Carol broke Negan out of his cell to kill Alpha and have a shot at Alexandria's PTA board. Unfortunately for Negan and the board, she has a whole day of hallucinations ahead of her, so she's gonna peace out. Beta discovers what Carol did at the border and does what any normal human being would do when they lose someone. Feed a lackey to their friend's severed head and then put said severed head in a bag and pretend it's giving them instructions. In the comics, Negan kills Alpha without any outside influence and brings her head to Rick, who is decidedly nonplussed. At this point, Carol had died years ago in the prison. In issue 157, Beta finds Alpha's headless body and tells the Whispers he would never claim the title of Alpha for himself. But in issue 158, Beta does lead a march of walkers and Whispers towards our heroes, gunning Father Gabriel on the way. This leads to the Battle of Hilltop and a whole bunch of other stuff, like Beta being a former NBA player, but we'll get into it later this season. Now on to Ezekiel and Yumiko's trek to help Eugene get his dick wet. After saying goodbye to Sweet Jerry and their loved ones, the gang hits the road.
You think they'll have candy?
On the way, they find walkers locked in cages, ominous, and later get attacked by more walkers, causing Zeke to lose his horse later that night. I hope it was insured, that's gonna cost some money. He considers turning back until Yumiko and Eugene talk him out of it.
You don't know what lies ahead for us.
The next day, they travel through Pittsburgh, which is mostly abandoned except for some costume walkers chained in place. Ezekiel nearly dies of laughter until they spot a stranger clad in pink carrying a giant gun.
Oh my god, hi!
Who is she? Just wait 40 seconds. Are you familiar with the premise of the show? We'll explain this to you. In issue 170 of the comics, the road trip crew was slightly different. We had Eugene, Yumiko, Magna, Sadiq, and Michonne. Zeke couldn't make it because his head was too busy rotting on a spike somewhere. Similar to the show, they also survive a walker attack, but they nearly don't because Eugene was too distracted watching Magna and Yumiko hook up. Eugene, buddy, never change. In issue 171, the gang camps out and Sadiq decides to tell Eugene he had an affair with Rosita when they were together. I can see the confused look in your face, I'll explain. You see, in the comics, Rosita and Eugene were married, she was pregnant, but got beheaded by Alpha and put on a spike. So it turns out Rosita was cheating on her boy and Sadiq was probably the father. And you thought Love is Blind was complicated.
Is it true that you still feel the same way you felt last night about me?
I don't know.
Anyway, the next morning they travel through Pittsburgh and meet a bubbly character clad in pink named Juanita Sanchez, aka Princess. So who is she? We'll get a lot more into Princess in next week's episode, which I'm told is somehow the season finale.
Excuse me?
Also, we have some stray arrows. First, the Whispers bowing to Negan as their new Alpha is a big homage to the metaphorical cover of The Walking Dead issue 168, where Negan's old saviors bowed down to him. Second, Negan's heart-to-heart with Daryl this episode closely mirrored Negan's heart-to-heart with Rick in the comics. In issue 164, Rick and Negan get trapped by Beta's horde in Alexandria and decide to air out their feelings, discuss morals, and exchange lasagna recipes. Although the situations are different and Rick's gone, it's clear Angela Kang was giving a nod to the source material with this scene. If you stack one lasagna on top of another lasagna, is it two lasagnas, or is it now just one larger, cohesive lasagna? And that wraps up all the comic comparisons for The Walking Dead episode 1014. As always, some of the story did not happen in the comics, like anything involving Carol or Daryl, the Whisperers bowing to Negan, Beta's country singer backstory, Alpha's talking head and hallucinations, Ezekiel killing his horse, and the cosplaying walkers, which were a delight. Also, at this point in the comics, Ezekiel, Carol, Rosita, Gabriel, and Judith were dead, while Daryl, RJ, Dog, Sweet Jerry, Alden, and hashtag Baby Coco didn't even exist. Furthermore, Rick, Michonne, Carl, Dwight, Maggie, Sadiq, Dante, Andrea, Heath, Laura, the Kingdom, and Jesus were still around, while Connie was not MIA. See? It's like the Olsen twins, mysteriously responsible for so many celebrity deaths in the 2000s. Hey, make sure to like and subscribe to Skybound and check out the official Walking Dead podcast, Talk Dead to Me. I'm Woody Tondorf. I'm locked in this closet for I don't know how long. Oh my god, I hope my wife remembers me, and we'll see you next time.